Yup, and
This shit's fire.
what is up, everybody? Welcome to another live Pin the Gas podcast. And you guys know the deal and the routine. This episode is brought to you by Bison. Gus knows this. And listen, you can walk through the paddock on any Moto America race. Everybody knows it, right? It's okay. You can go buy an off-the-rack suit, but it's not going to fit you properly. When it don't fit you properly, it actually hinders your body position, your riding style. It could give you arm pump. There's all kinds of problems that can come from it, right? But what I need you guys to do is go to bisontrack.com. Go ahead and get your custom suit designed right now. You can get them in any colors. You actually, it's cool, Gus, because you can design you put the logos wherever you want them, the colors, you pick the colors, the gloves, the chest protector, the undersuit, the whole nine. So listen, everybody, go to bisontrack.com and join the herd. What are you guys waiting on? But listen, that's not why we're here. The main reason we're here is the legend himself, Gus Rodio. What is going on?
What's going on? How are you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm sitting down with the absolute legend right now. So yeah, everything is great, man. How's your day been so far, Gus?
I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem.
It's been good. Kind of just a chill day. Had some vinyl work to do at the office, and then we're just loading up the trailer and headed to New Jersey Motorsports Park for some Ducati V2 riding this weekend. So I'm excited. I can't wait, actually.
Absolutely right. Now everybody knows I'm a huge Ducati fan. So is that your personal bike or your dad's bike or?
Yeah, my dad bought two of them at the end of last year, and he was just like, it was a good deal on them, and he was like, if you want to ride them, great. If not, they can sit. And at first, I was like, I just kind of want to focus on my Aprilia deal with Robum and try and work everything out there. And then I kind of started riding it halfway through the season, and I was like, wow, I mean, this thing's a lot of fun. It's a lot more power, but I seem to be getting used to it. So yeah, I'm having fun on it, and I'm going decently fast on it, which is nice, kind of right off the rip. And it reminds me a lot of the Aprilia, and it's similar in a lot of ways. So it wasn't like a drastic change for me, but yeah, I'm just trying to keep progressing on that thing and keep getting faster.
Absolutely, you will, right? It's. I was going to ask you too. Like, it's not really that big of a jump coming from the RS660 to the V2, but the V2 is definitely a heavier motorcycle.
Oh,
so
yeah.
When you ride that, obviously, you got to change your riding style to actually adapt to the bike?
Yeah, mainly I'm just trying to get a little bit stronger and kind of throw that thing around a little bit, because it is a lot of bike, but I mean, when it all comes down to it, like torque wise off the corner and whatnot, it's not crazy different from my Aprilia, and it just feels a little bit longer when you ride it, the wheelbase. But other than that, I mean, it's honestly kind of like not almost the same bike, but it's pretty close.
They got a lot of the same feel and riding characteristics
Yeah,
to it.
yeah. I mean, you're kind of like it's a twin, so you're kind of like shifting the thing where you're not used to, and it's coming up quick, and corner to corner definitely comes up a lot faster on the V2, and after riding it for a little bit, I can't imagine being on a super bike, but you never know, maybe one day we'll see what happens.
Absolutely. There's no doubt in my mind that you will not be Moto America Superbike champion one day, for sure.
I hope so.
Dude, you got it, man. You will. You got all the natural talent. And I told you, but before we went live, everybody told him he's got one of the most best riding styles. It's so beautiful to watch. It's like poetry in motion. It's absolutely amazing. You know, Gus, because all the other riders, everybody's got different riding styles. That they do, if you are actually pay attention, and
for sure.
Yeah, and some suit other bikes better than others and all that good stuff. But listen, Gus, I want to get into the very early days, man. How did your journey start with two wheels?
The very early days. All right. Well, that all started with NJ Mini GP, of course. I I always sound like a broken record when everyone asks me how I started, but it's the real deal. It's how I got to where I am today. I was just actually coaching a NJ Mini GP camp last weekend, and I don't coach like for like just because I have to coach. I don't. They don't ask. They don't force me to be there. It's just I like the atmosphere, and on top of the coaching, I get to ride my own bike on Sunday, so I get stuff out of it, and it's cool to see the little kids get faster, and because I was one of those little kids at one point, and when I first started, it's funny because everybody, not that there was no hope for me, but it was really bad when I first started. It was like you know kind of taking everything slow and steady. I wouldn't pass anybody. I wouldn't ride anything bigger than a CRF 50, and I think I still carry that kind of what do you call it? I still carry that with me along, my professional journey also because I do ease into new bikes. Like eased into the Aprilia, I eased into the Ducati, and I kind of like ease my way into everything. I don't like to, be like super quick and jump right into it. So but yeah, the mini GP camp this weekend. It's where I started. I actually did a camp myself, two, I think, in about 2015, 2016, and kind of that's when it clicked for me. And that 2015 through 16 winter, I started to figure out, all right, this is how you ride motorcycles, and then this is how you go fast on them. On top of that, so that's the best way to start, I think. I mean, everyone has their own opinion, but that's what worked for me, and that's what worked for actually probably I want to say 5 people on the Moto America grid right now. So out of everybody, it's kind of seems like that's the way to go. NJ Mini GP, and if say you're in California on the opposite side of the country, they kind of have their own schools over there, or over there, and they uh they do the same thing though, which is everyone wants to start on the small bikes and work their way up, and that seems like the best way to do it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, and especially SFL Mini GP down in
Right.
South Florida. It's all the same, not the same program, but the same idea and the same basis, right?
Right. I
Um,
mean, yeah, that's Mike Correa and Julian. I remember in 2015, yeah, they were there. Well, I don't know if they were living in NJ at the time, but I know that they're from NJ. Um, I remember Julian being at one of my first, couple races. It might have been my first year or something. And I remember him and his dad being there, and then they were like, "Hey, we're gonna do like the same thing, but we're gonna do it in Florida." And obviously, there's little differences to any organization, but they are SFL Mini GP. They're Florida's version of what we have here in NJ, and it's really cool because they have big turnouts, and they have a lot of kids that come out of there. Like I mean, if you watch the Junior Cup races from Brainerd, that those two podiums, they were SFL kids, and it's really cool.
yeah, it was. Yeah, absolutely. And they actually made history. And who Gus is referring to is Avery and Ella Dreyer. It was. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. There's a lot of talent coming out of New Jersey and South Florida with those programs. And I wish Moto America would somehow sponsor them and bring them on board, right? Because to me, those are the best programs in America. Um,
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, the championship leader in the Junior Cup right now, Matthew. He's straight out of NJ Mini GP. He beat me actually in the we were racing up in New York, and I mean, he was super tiny at the time. Wow, this was 2 years ago, I think. Crazy race. Ben Glotty, obviously, he was in that. It was a stock 100 race, and my buddy Owen Granoff, we were like fighting us three for the win, me, Ben, and Owen. And then I actually took them both out in the same corner. It was crazy, like totally by accident. I mean, at least they think that. I'm just kidding, but yeah, totally by accident took them out. And then I looked behind me after I came out of that corner. I was like, oh my God, there's this little kid on a TTR right behind me, and he whooped my ass in that race. And from there, I was like, wow, Matthew Chapin, and now he's it's like 4 or 5 podiums in a row, and like 4 of them are wins, 1 second place. Like he's the real deal.
Yeah, he's getting into his stride right now for sure. He's making
He,
it hard
yeah,
on
yeah,
everybody in the junior cup class for sure.
he
Yeah,
is. Yeah, I love to see it.
me too, man. I love to see. Those are my favorite classes. Is the junior cup and the twins cup class. There's just so
Yeah,
much. I don't want to say there's less passion in the other classes, but there's just so much energy and so much competition, right? The other
yeah,
classes are too, but you know what I'm trying to say, Gus. It's
yeah. It's more of like a mom and dad style teams in
yeah,
there, and kids that are figuring out what it's like, and just trying to learn and get better. I mean, obviously everybody's trying to learn and get better, but um, they're starting from the bottom, so it's cool to see.
it is, and it's a big jump coming from club racing to actually making it into Moto America. Because
It
club
is,
race, yeah.
yeah, it is.
Well,
They kind of make it. I mean, Moto America's kind of they're trying, but they're trying to make it less of a jump with the classes they have, but it's really, you can't even compare.
no, you can't. No, absolutely not. You can't. We actually have some comments coming in from Joe Wash. Everybody knows Joe. What's up? He says, "Go Gus," and then my good
Uh,
friend Keith Kelly. He races in the Pan Am. He says Gus Rodeo in the house. One day I'll meet him. Yeah, man. Let's.
spelled my last name wrong there, but we'll let it slide.
Yeah,
Rodeo.
yeah. And then this right here, Craig O'Harris is my mate all the way from the UK. He says, hey, Chris, hey, Gus, keep up the good work, bringing the youth up the right way. Have a great season.
Thank you.
So yeah,
I appreciate that.
yeah, he's awesome. He's a track day junkie. Craig is out there and rides a lot of the BSB tracks, right? That's something I wanted to ask you, man. Would you ever go over to BSB and race over there too?
I raced in BSB 2 years ago, a little less than 2 years ago. I did their what was it called at the time? It was they did away with the class now. They have the Twins Cup, Junior Super Sport, which isn't like our Super Sport. It's the 400s.
400s, yeah.
And I raced for Sim Serious Motorsports, and I got I got fourth and sixth, I think. Yeah, fourth and sixth over there, and it was cool. I went to Brands Hatch, and that was a really cool track. I mean, that one I had no, I'd never even. I don't really watch BSB like that, but the team was like, "Do you want to come ride our bike?" And I was like, well, it's kind of a no-brainer. It was actually pretty cheap compared to racing here in the junior cup. And the team actually at the end of the weekend, they were like, yo, don't even worry about it. I guess they were kind of impressed, and I was impressed with the team, and it was cool. I got the offer to go back there last year, but obviously that was after the Twins Cup season, and I would have had to race their super stock class. And I've never ridden a 4-cylinder, anything on the big track, believe it or not. I've been just all twins my whole career. So I was like, that's not really gonna work for us. So we skipped it. But at the end of this year, we'll see what happens. I don't know.
Dude, that's awesome. Yeah, dude, I knew you had dazzled in BSB. I
Yeah.
just wanted everybody else to that's why I asked you that, right? And everybody knows I'm a huge BSB fan. To me, it's my favorite organization. The only reason why I say that is because they race Gus on their super bikes. They have no electronic
Oh
assistance.
yeah. Oh
So it's
yeah.
old school, proper way racing. I mean, who does not love that, right?
It's actually kind of like sick, like sick, not in a good way. It's like it's it's crazy, but I don't know. I really have no words for their Superbike class over there. I know I've talked to Brandon about it before, and obviously my good friend, but I don't know. I don't know if I see myself doing something like that. Uh, but it seems to work for him. I guess they figured out, and they're obviously, the best riders over there. And uh, I don't know. Sometimes I wish Moto America was kind of like that, like kind of more raw, like real bikes. But I guess when they're coming from the factory with, some sort of electronics, I don't know. I don't really know how it works and what they do, like to cut them out, or I have no idea how it even works, but it's
They
awesome.
they take off the stock wiring harness and they run their BSB spec wiring harness on it. So let's say that
Oh, really?
so the BMWs and the Ducatis and all the 1000s come with freaking every electronic device known to man on it, right?
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
they take it all off, run their spec ECU, their spec wiring harness, so it makes it fair across the
Wow.
board. And then of course they have certain parameters that they can do. They have a little bit of electronics, but it's like,
It's insane.
yeah,
It really is.
it's mental.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. But I don't know. I guess that'll put some hair on your chest or something, but
Right.
I don't know if that's for me, but
I love it. And Brands Hatch, so I've been to Brands Hatch. I didn't
oh,
go for a
really?
race. Yeah, I went out to Cadwell Park last year for the BSB race.
Yeah, that's another one.
Yeah, Cadwell was it's my favorite track in the world. Who does not love the mountain courses? Gus,
Right.
you hear it and you see tracks on TV and you're like, oh my God, that looks insane. But when you're physically there, you're like, holy shit. Like it brings it
Oh,
all
yeah.
to real perspective,
Yeah, I can only
Um,
imagine.
yeah. And then on the way home, on the way back to my buddy's house I was staying at before I left, he said, I got a surprise for you. And it was on the way to his house. He told me nothing about it until we was getting ready to pull in. He's like, look where we are. I was like, what? No way. And Gus said, this is what blew my mind about it. Like it was a Monday because on their race weekend, it was Saturday, Sunday, Monday at Cadwell.
Mhm.
So we leave Monday and then we pull up in there and there was nothing going on. We pull up to the guard shack and Daniel rolls down the window. He's like, hey, mate, this is my buddy from the United States. Is it okay if I show him the track? And he's just like, yeah, sure, go on in. I was like, bro, you couldn't do that here. Like, you can't just roll up to a
Nah.
racetrack and be like, dude, my mate's from overseas. Can I show him? To be like, get out of here.
Yeah, isn't all those BSB tracks, aren't they owned by the same owner, I heard, or something like that? Um,
It could be.
like it I mean they all look obviously pretty similar, like off the track a little bit, kind of like pit lane and stuff like that. But um yeah, it's another thing. Pit lane, even for BSB, like they have cool garages and stuff. And like in Moto America, I feel like we don't even have like a cool pit lane like that. That's also another thing. I always wonder what it felt like to come off the track and like pull into a box and then go back out on the track. But I guess we got what we got.
Yeah. Well, what I love about Moto America, and I get asked this a lot from my UK friends, what's the main difference between BSB and Moto America? I said, well, in Moto America, BSB is kind of like it too, but we have a full open pit policy, which means you can go up to any rider.
Yeah.
I mean, whoever it is, right? Whoever you want to go see, they're not hard to find. You're literally 5 feet, 6 feet away from actually working on all the bikes. It's
Hmm.
and that's what I love about our sport because it brings people in up and close, right? Um,
Yeah.
where in BSB, most of it's an open paddock, unless you go down to where, like at Cadwell Park, it's you actually got to cross the track to go down there, so you can't get down there, right?
Mm.
But you could stand there because the riders got to cross the track, so you're guaranteed to meet everybody anyway. And Craig says 90% of BSB tracks are owned by MSV. Just Knox Hill and
Yeah.
Thruston are privately owned.
Hmm.
So
That's what I thought. Yeah. Because I know like over here we got Pittsburgh is owned by the same people as VIR. That's
yeah,
one. I think there might be a third in there. I don't know though.
man, and I hate that we don't go to VIR anymore, man.
Well, next year we're going back.
Are we really?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Oh, I hope so, man.
That's what they're saying. I don't know. We'll
Because
see.
it's only like an hour and like 20 minutes from my doorstep.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
nice.
I went to, man, I've been such a huge fan. Obviously, you see my room. But I got,
Mhm.
man, I've been to, I can't even count of how many
Yeah. I mean, once you
AMA and Moto America tracks I've been to, especially at VIR. I've been to pretty much every year since, man, 2002, 3.
oh wow, before I
So,
was born.
right, yeah, I've been huge nerd, man. I'm a motorcycle
I feel
freaking.
like being a big fan of motorcycle racing doesn't make you a nerd, though.
Well, you know what I'm saying. People that ain't
Yeah,
into it would call me a nerd,
you're
right?
right. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
It's something. It's just like Gus. When I was a very young child and I see my first motorcycle, that was it. It just called to me. It did something to me, and it's been my main focus my entire life. Don't get me wrong. I got a
Yeah.
son that's my main focus. I actually named him Hayden Rossi after Nikki Hayden and Valentino Rossi.
Mhm.
So it's he don't ride. You know,
How old is he?
he's 11, man. Before he was born, I bought him a brand new TTR 50, right? Waiting for him to
Really?
get old enough to Gus to ride it, right? He goes
Yeah.
out there, he sits on it, he starts it up, he's like, okay, I'm good. And I'm like, you don't want to ride? He's like, no. And then he told me,
No way.
yeah, dude. And then he's like, look, when he was born, I got him a Strider bike and the TTR 50. So as soon as he was able to not walk, but
Yeah.
stand up on the Strider bike, I put him on there and he was just walking through the house. He learned his balance. Then we got him a bicycle, which he didn't need no training wheels. And every time we go in the garage, he sees the TTR sitting there. I'd take it out, ride it, and he would just watch and laugh and it's just never really hit him, man. So I don't force it upon
Hmm.
him, but he loves to go to the races.
That's good. Well,
So
you never know. It might come to him naturally or something like that. But I uh I got my first bike when I was 7. It was which is funny why I was telling you the story about how I only rode the 50. My first bike was a CRF 110, and it was a 2013, um, 2013 CRF Honda CRF 110, and we got it brand new. I was riding in the dirt on that bike, and then I found Mini GP through mutual friends, and I did my first Mini GP NJ Mini GP day, and that was on a 110, and then Ryan Fleming, the owner, was like, well, usually we start on the 50s because there's a lot to be learned on the 50. And so my dad bought me a 50, and it was like it's kind of like put everything in slow motion a little bit for me, and which was nice to learn. And then couldn't get me off it, and they couldn't get me back on the 110 for about a year. But yeah, that was my first bike. I'm trying to think. If I was 7, I was born in '04, so maybe it was a 2012 actually, but I don't know. And then yeah, I went 50, 110, like modified 110s they had at the time. And then from there I was super small, and I couldn't fit. My next step was a CRF 150 and I couldn't fit on it. So my dad took a CRF 125, and we got this like whole custom bike made. It was like a small wheel CRF 125 with a Grom front end on it. So it had, normal forks, like upside down forks. It had good brakes on it. 12-inch wheels, a little like custom linkage in the rear for a rear shock, aftermarket rear shock. And we had the motor built by a guy named Rich down. Not I have a current mechanic named Rich that works for us, but it's a different guy. And he took like 7 pounds of rotating weight out of that little motor. And I think stock they made like 6.5, 7 horsepower. And when he was done with it, it made like 14.5 horsepower
holy
in that
shit.
thing. And so I raced that against all the 150s, and I mean, like, it was a little bit down on like, like the power, the way it made power was a little weird, but um the cornering was crazy on the thing. It had like rear sets on it and all that good stuff. At one point it had clip-ons on it, which I see a lot of guys do that on the kart tracks, which it's cool, but I don't think it's the fastest way around the kart track. So we didn't do that for long, but yeah, that was really like where me and my dad learned like suspension setup and stuff like that, because on the 110s and whatnot, they're just stock. And like the most you can do to them is like my dad would cut like inch PVC spacers, and he would put them in the tops of the fork caps to kind of like stiffen it up. And we are like, oh, like is this cheating or not? But everybody was doing it, and on that, like we called it the GRF 125, like the Grom CRF, and on that thing, like I mean, we had custom suspension like in the Grom tubes, and like we could do everything like compression, springs, rebound, like in the rear shock, compression, rebound, like we could do all of it, and we would mess with suspension setup for the first time on that thing.
That's awesome, man. That it's man, bikes have come a long way, right? And what
Oh
people do to
yeah,
them now, it's absolutely crazy. And I know your dad's a real big into motorcycles too, as well.
yeah.
Obviously, that's where your love and passion comes from it. But tell everybody who don't know who's on your team, because I know a good friend of mine, Artie Meeker's on your team. Of course, your
Yeah.
dad, and then who else is on your team?
So obviously my dad, he owns the team and runs it, and my main mechanic is Rich Marshall. He's a friend of mine for about 4 or 5 years now, and he started working on the team for us at Daytona in 2022. And then my data engineer is Frank Angel. So I don't know if you know Frank or not, but he used to be the race director of CCS, and he still is a mechanic outside of the races. He works for that guy, that other Rich that I was talking about that built my 125. So it's like a small world. When I was little, like that bike was built in 2017, I think. So he still, works with Rich now. Artie, obviously, Artie. He's hilarious.
Yes, he is.
Um, yeah, that's really like our team right now. We have the Robum side of things, which is obviously Matt Spicer, Chad, Mike Kopolis, Sarah. She takes all the pictures and everything. And Robum builds all the bikes and everything, and they build a good bike. Obviously, they build the best bike. I think it's really cool when I got on that thing for the first time, because I had my own Aprilia outside of Robum Engineering because I did Daytona the year before. So I had my own Aprilia and it was cool, but the second I got on the Robum one, it was like night and day. It was kind of crazy how much they do to the bikes and how much custom parts are on there that Robum makes, and it's cool because Robum makes all the custom parts and stuff, but it's not like secretive, like, oh, this is what we run on the bikes, because you can go to Robum if you're competing even against me and be like, oh, I need these parts for my Aprilia, and you'll get the same stuff that I'm on. So it's really cool what Robum's all about over there.
Yeah, it's a beautiful bike. I love the colors of it too.
Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah,
the the graphics design work is all done by REB Graphics, Reese Briotti. He's been a friend of mine for years now, and obviously I started doing the vinyl stuff a little bit here and there, and that's kind of like my gig aside from racing motorcycles. And so I'll print all the graphics for all the bikes and stuff, and me and my dad will put them on, and it's cool because if you have a bad weekend and you crash, come home and reprint all your stuff yourself, and you don't have to wait on anybody getting it done. But Reese used to do our prints too before we had a printer, and he's really good. He's literally the best. I mean, there's nobody like him, from design to install to just templating in general. Like nobody understands the work that goes into making a graphics template for a bike. Like he'll put in 50 plus hours to a template, and he doesn't even get paid for the templating part. Like that guy like loves what he does, and it's really cool to look at all his bikes and stuff.
yeah, it's absolutely. Now, that's a question I was going to ask for you: is do you work, and if so, what do you do?
Yeah, so that's what I do. I do a little bit of bikes, dirt bikes, race bikes. I mainly, I'm big into the truck stuff. So I'll do like commercial vehicles and stuff like that. Um, just because it's obviously on a little bit of a bigger scale than motorcycle stuff, and um I'll get like I'll get like a fleet of trucks. There's a local company around here that they have me anytime they get a new vehicle, they send it to me, and I make it look like the last one. And it's cool. I like doing trucks because you see them on the road also. And like I'll do a truck around here, and then I'll be driving around and I'll see it and I'll be like, oh, that looks good, but maybe I would have changed this or something like that. And it's pretty cool work, honestly. A lot goes into it. Like, it's not like your regular job where you go in at a certain time and you come out working for somebody else. It's like my own thing. So there's some costs that go into it on the back end, and it's teaching me a little bit about running my own business and stuff. And I think that's why my dad set me up with it, because he's obviously a business guy, and he's never worked for anybody but himself. And I think he kind of wants me to go down that route too, aside from motorcycle racing. And it's teaching me a lot, outside of the track life.
I love it. So obviously somebody can contact you and be like, "Hey Gus, I want some graphics for my Honda Grom
Right,
or whatever." You'd be
right.
like, "Yeah, absolutely." And when they do that, do you ask them like, "Do you have any like ideas you're thinking about?" Or if they
Yeah, of
say, "Hey
course.
Gus, I just give you free reins. These are kind of the colors I want to use," and you just run with it?
Um, well, like, for example, like, I mean, we were just talking about Mike Korea. I do a lot of work for Mike and Juju and Grayson. And Mike's an awesome guy. He's kind of like he uh he called me yesterday and he was like, "Yo, I don't know if you saw Grayson's new NSF."
Yeah.
He was like, "Yo, I just got this bodywork painted, and I need some of your stuff." And he'll just be like, "Here's the colors. Here's what I want. Go for it." And you're kind of like, "Oh man, like, I'm gonna design this whole thing, and I don't know if it's what he's gonna like or not." But it's cool because he's always super hype about all the work and stuff like that. And it gives you a little bit to use your creativity and put some stuff together. So I like when people come to me with dead set on what they want and all that stuff. But it's cool to have a job here and there where you can do anything you want and just not stick to anything really. It's cool.
Yeah, I like it, man. I like it. Good, because me and you gonna have to talk, because I'm gonna get me a little Honda Grom, and I want to pin the
Let's go.
gas like scheme, the whole thing, and
Yeah.
I'll get you to do my rap for it for sure. Be awesome.
Awesome.
One of a kind, baby. So listen, we got
Awesome.
we got the legend himself, Artie Meeker. What is up,
Oh
man?
man. What's going on, Artie?
Yeah, Artie's awesome. And then we got Billy Pedro. What is going on, Billy?
Billy. Yeah, I remember Billy.
Yeah, Billy's awesome. He's good. And then we got Daniel Boocook. Um, he says Gus, the Aprilia King.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely he is. And then of course Matt Hall. Everybody knows Matt Hall. We all love Matt Hall. He says, "What's up, losers? What's going on, buddy?"
Yo, kick this guy. Kick him off the stream,
Yeah,
dude.
that's it. Let's delete him. Bye, Matt.
Delete
Bam.
him. Took it for
Done.
granted.
That's it. See ya. Nah, that's good stuff. So listen, dude, let's talk about we touched base on how you got into it, and so let's talk about your 2023 season and your 2024 season, how it's going. So let's take it from the beginning of 2023 going into it. Did you have like big expectations on yourself in 2023?
2023, no. 2023 was totally went in there not expecting anything, and we did a lot better than we thought we were gonna do in 2023. Obviously we got confidence and stuff like that, but it's going into a new class. You're never there's so many different things that could happen. So 2023 we had no expectations, and we surprised ourselves, I want to say. Last year was a great season. Kind of, I've never gelled with a bike like I did with the Aprilia, and this year, obviously, the class is taken to a whole nother level. But yeah, me and the Aprilia last year were something special with learning it and stuff like that. And obviously we were like this close to a championship last year, and we put it all on the line in the last race, and unfortunately that didn't happen. But for a rookie year, it was crazy, and this year it's kind of been a weird year so far because we started out at Daytona, winning both races by 11 seconds, which was just insane, and that kind of showed that we had all our ducks in a row. Like we were all set up and ready to go, and then other teams started working their bugs out, and riders started to get with their bikes, and it kind of became a really tight pack up front. And yeah, I mean, we're just kind of chipping away at bike setup on that thing a little bit over the last couple of rounds, and we were trying a lot of different things, and Brainerd, we had nothing for those guys up front. It was crazy what they were doing. But Texas, I'm looking forward to Texas. We never been there before, so I'm gonna go there the week before or whatever, and put some laps in, and it'll be my first time doing that before a Moto America race, but should be cool.
Oh, dude, it's gonna be awesome. I've been to Texas, but before I get into that, Artie Meeker has a question for you. That's why I was laughing. He says,
Oh boy,
"Ask Gut what is a cone tent."
the
Ha, ha,
content,
ha,
the content. Oh shit,
ha.
that is wait. I think I was asking what a TP was or something like that,
Oh, okay.
or not a TP. Yeah, I guess that's what it was. I don't know. I remember being like to Art. I remember calling it a cone tent, and he never forgets that.
I love it. The cone tent. So yeah, I go to Texas pretty much every year for the MotoGP race. It's just, and we
Oh
said
yeah,
this earlier. It's when you go to a track, you don't realize how steep do turn one is. It's a proper uphill turn, and then
oh yeah,
once you get to the top, Gus, obviously it goes hard to the left, right? But it actually funnels
mhm.
in a little bit, and then as you go back down the right, it opens up. It's an absolute amazing track.
It's a long track.
It is. As far as the spectator point, it's really good, and as from a rider standpoint, it's really good.
Yeah,
Because there's a lot to it. It's a technical
yeah.
track.
I was hoping to be there in MotoGP, but I couldn't make it there. And I don't know if you saw my sister on the grid for MotoGP, but she was holding Vinales' umbrella, P1, pole position.
Loved
She
it.
was out there.
Loved it.
I was like, my God, she doesn't understand what she's doing right now. Like,
Right. I know. Well,
she doesn't get it.
I heard she was out there, but I tried to catch up with her because I always buy the pit pass so I can get back behind. That's the thing about a MotoGP race, Gus. If you don't have the pit pass, you're probably
Yeah,
not going to meet hardly anybody. Yeah, they have the fan walk, right? Just like in Moto America. That's another thing I like about Moto America. It's a mandatory. BSB is the same way. It's mandatory for an hour. All the riders got to come out, take pictures, sign autographs, and all that stuff. But in
yeah,
MotoGP, it's not like that. They have a fan walk, and they walk you in front of the garages. And yeah, Jack Miller comes out there. There's a couple of them that do, but it's very brief. Whereas if you have the pit pass, you're back behind the garages. You see them, you can mingle with them and stuff like that. But
probably a
they're,
lot of people for MotoGP too, right?
huh?
There's probably a lot of people too for MotoGP. I feel like all trying for the same thing.
Yeah, there is. But one thing that I find out, like, how do I want to say this? Since I've been podcasting and I've been interviewing and talking to a lot of legends as yourself and becoming friends with them. When you go to MotoGP, it's not like that. It's like 90% of the riders there. I'm talking strictly MotoGP, Moto3, Moto2. Yeah, they'll absolutely talk to you. But as far as the MotoGP guys, they don't hardly say anything. They'll walk
Really,
out. No, they get crowded, of
just
course.
like
And then
robots, huh?
that's exactly what I was gonna say. Absolute robots, bro. It's
You gotta do what you gotta do when you're the best, I guess.
yeah, you do, but being just such a fan, right? Doing that, it's like, man, I didn't spend all this money coming out here and all
Oh
this,
yeah,
paid the extra thing. You can at least stop for like 2
right.
seconds and let me get a picture and just say, hey, what's up? Uh
Yeah, I would probably do that a little differently, but you
yeah,
never know
it's
what their weekends consist of.
no, they have huge commitments. I already know, but
They
it's
probably got a lot of people doing a lot of things for them though. Make it as stress free as possible.
oh, I'm sure, when you're in the major circus, yeah. for
Right.
sure. But yeah, so listen, 2024, man, your season's been a little up and down, and you already said that, but it's like road racing. I mean, you're never gonna have. There's hardly anybody that's had a perfect season, right? You're always gonna
Right. Yeah.
have your up and down. So let me ask you this, Gus: when you're coming into a weekend and everything's just not gelling or going right, how do you mentally uh, put that back and still see the positives of it?
Um. Well, when you have a weekend like we had at Road America where you don't finish either races, and you lose a 15-point championship lead, it's kind of hard to take positives away from it. Honestly, I mean, you always have to appreciate your safety at the end of the weekend and stuff like that. But which I think a lot of people take for granted when they have a bad weekend. It's like, dude, like you may have crashed out of that one, but it's like it could have been so much worse. And honestly, a weekend like Road America, I'll just forget it. I'll just move on. By the time I got in my van and started driving home, I was like, all right, we're gonna focus on some other stuff. And then you get to Brainerd and you're like, well, the bike's just not working right, and we're going 180 degrees this way and 180 degrees this way, and it's like I can't believe nothing's working. But we got fourth in both races, so you gotta have to compare that to the last round, which is like, okay, we didn't finish any races, so now we're fourth in both races. It's like that's a decent step, even you don't look at it that way because you win two of them by 11 seconds in March, and you're like, man, like I should be winning these races. But you're like, you know what? It's points, and we didn't get those last round, so it's kind of like you got to humble yourself and take the positives away from it, and just keep chugging along, just keep putting the work in, and keep hoping for it to pay off. Really.
No, it will. It's important to stay focused even when things don't go wrong, and it's hard. It's mentally probably one of the most mental challenges you're going to face when it comes to that, because nothing ever goes your way, right? And you just want
Right.
to push it in the back of your head and say, hey, it is what it is, and yeah, let's just move forward. And like I tell everybody, man, you belong there, right? You're an absolute legend. You're going to be, and I tell everybody this, all my friends, Gus, and I'm going to tell you the same thing. Listen, wherever Gus Rodio envisions where you want to end up in your motorcycle racing career, whether it's 5-time Moto America champ and then 5 BSB, maybe World Superbike, whoever knows, man. I hope you do that 8 times over. I really do. And
Thank you.
you got a fan right here, and I can't wait to bring Rossi to the track in New Jersey. So
Oh,
yeah, he can hustle you around for a minute, because he will for sure. Listen,
yeah.
I took him to when he's 11 now, so it was the last year at VIR. Him and Yondell, Yondell Medea, him and
Yep.
his family were really good friends, and him and Yondell immediately just like gelled together, right? So he was going around VIR, Gus, literally going up underneath people's, they had the movie theater style string, so you can't get but so
Oh
close.
yeah.
Bro, he literally just goes up underneath there as the mechanics. He did this to 90% of the paddock. He just runs up underneath there. He'll tap you while you're working, and you look down, and here's this kid, right? All of a sudden he goes, hey, man, you dropped your pen. And the guy looks down. He says, hi, I got you. And they just laugh. And next thing I know, he's running across. He goes to the next one. So he ends up with Jake Gagne. He runs straight into Yamaha. And I'm chasing him. I'm like, no, Rossi, what are you doing? And everybody's laughing. They're like, oh, it's okay. I'm like, yeah, okay, let's go. Anyway, he runs up underneath there, and Gagne's standing there, and he runs straight up to him, and he taps him on his back. Gagne turns around. He says, hey, man, you dropped your pencil. And Gagne looks down, and he pulls a pen out of his pocket. He said, what do you mean, this one right here? And Rossi just thought it was the funniest thing. So he started crying, laughing, and he went down and got him a knee slider and all that cool stuff. So it was
That's
just,
awesome.
yeah.
I love
Rossi,
Gagne.
yeah,
He's a good
Gagne
guy.
is yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
Gagne is one of the good ones. I like him.
Yes, absolutely. I call it our beautiful circus, because it is. Moto America is such an amazing, beautiful circus. And just like every circus, you always got clowns in it, right?
Always, yeah.
Always got to have the clowns.
Always, yeah.
We have a question for you, man. It says, how do you structure your fitness plan and build up one's mental fortitude during a season?
Well, my fitness plan is right now, like I said, I'm trying to get stronger. So right now I'm doing a lot of heavy weight, low reps. But I'll pair that with some cardio here and there. But there's no better cardio than just being on the bike. So that's what we're doing right now. You know, even if it's taking my 450 to the kart track and just doing as many laps as possible until I can't anymore. Mentally though, mental's tough. You know, you everybody says you kind of have to, you know, have confidence and like believe it, but like believe what you're telling yourself, you know, that like, oh, like, you know, I'm here, I'm at the front, like I'm winning these races, like, but you know, telling yourself that and truly believing it are two different things that I've come to realize. And it takes a lot to really like believe that, you know what I mean, when you got so many fast guys. But there's not much you can do except do it, you know. um you know, you get nervous before a race like you're not good enough, but let's be real, like everybody out there is good enough. It's just a matter of putting all the pieces together for the puzzle and winning some races. So I think mentally, the more you think about it in general, I think the worse. I think you kind of just have to clear your head of everything. Maybe
Yeah.
think about just something random, you know?
Yeah. Right. That
Take your mind
whatever.
off of you don't want to take your mind off of motorcycles, but you kind of have to, because when motorcycles are like everything, you know, every time you turn around and then you get to the races and you're like all that pressure from motorcycles builds up. Kind of just have to be like, all right, think about something else, whether it's like just, I mean, it could be the most random thing. I don't know.
Nah, yeah, it's well, I got ADHD, so my mind's always like on billion different things. Unless it comes to motorcycle, it's the only one thing that I can truly do, and it's my mind just stays focused. It don't race. It's I guess it's
Yeah,
my yin and my yang, right? It's
yeah,
so when I'm going through a everyday life, right? It gets harder, it gets challenging. And Gus, I tell everybody this, you know, I think it's a missed opportunity every day. Every day, everybody should stop what they're doing for like a minute and enjoy it, enjoy the moment, live in that moment. You know what I mean? Um,
yeah, for
it's
sure.
very important because you get lost in day to day with the stress and all that good stuff. It's important
Right.
just to calm it down for a minute and smile and say, I belong here and I'm going to make, even if it's you're in the shit, you still got to try to take the positive. That just works for me anyway. And then we got Erica Wolf says, we had the same weekend at Road America, a fifth and a sixth at Brainerd for points, and forget the races before, but the loss of confidence is tough. It is.
Yeah. I watch Ryan. I'm friends with Ryan.
Yeah, me
And
too.
Barber, he got taken out. I
Yeah.
remember talking to him. And then Road America. Well, some people said he didn't get taken out at Road America, but after watching the video, I think he got taken out. It kind of sucks, 2 weekends in a row. But the Junior Cup, when you're riding that close and that many people, it's like something's bound to happen. And he just seems to get the short end of the stick more than others. But well, not necessarily. I mean, you had Avery made that mistake in race one. Oh, was it race one at Road America? And
Yeah.
then
Yeah, I
he
think
hit
so. Buzz.
yeah,
Yeah.
he hit another rider with, I want to say he hit him with his ass and made him crash, unfortunately.
Yeah. He hit Isaac
The way it
Woodworth.
goes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a crazy one.
Yeah.
That was one of Matthew's wins
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
But
part of racing, right? It's
yeah,
mistakes get made, and it's just the heat of the moment. You're living in the moment. You're trying to,
right.
uh, and everybody's still learning, right? Even Jake Gagne, even Valentino Rossi, even even the top guys, which you're a
Oh
top
yeah.
guy, but the pinnacle of the sport, everybody's still learning. Because if you knew everything, then
Yeah, there's always something to learn. That's what I
absolutely.
realized. Like, I mean, even going back to the basics last weekend, I was doing circle drills on a Sierra 50. Uh, and you know, I don't really fit on one of those anymore, but we make it work. And I don't know, I was just like, kind of brought me back to when I was a kid a little bit. And I honestly, like, just doing a couple circles on a 50, I felt like I learned a little something. Like, you're always thinking about what's going on with the bike and stuff like that, and just kind of like kind of helps out a little bit here and there.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I'm a firm believer at the 50, you can learn so much on a
Oh
small
yeah.
motorcycle because you're
Oh
not
yeah.
the speed's not great. So I think naturally you're more focused on what you're actually doing and what the bike's actually telling you it wants to do,
Yeah.
right? If that makes sense. Um,
Oh yeah.
and then we got a good mate of mine, Cameron Swain. What is up? He says, "Hey Chris, hope you're good, man. I'm absolutely mega. Hope you are too." He says, "Hopefully I can get over for a wild card to race Gus sometime. Would love to have you over here for sure.
Yo.
Yeah, let's do it." And then we got my buddy Chris Lewis. He's also from the UK. He says, "How do you prepare ahead of a race, Gus?"
Um. Well, this is something I learned from I had a coach a long time ago. Well, not a long time ago, maybe like winter of 21, summer of 22. And he's big on everybody like tries to get super light before a race weekend and they kill themselves in the process. But um I'll eat a lot. Like I'll do the opposite of what a lot of people do and eat a lot of food because I realized over a race weekend you don't really take in as many calories. So kind of make up for that. Eat eat a lot after the race, and eat as much as you can during the race weekend, obviously to fuel you. But it's difficult sometimes to eat during a race weekend, and like you said, mental side of things, your mind's going 100 miles an hour, like making up time here. What am I doing wrong here? The bike, to like everything. So yeah, I eat a lot. That's how I prepare for race weekend. I eat a lot. I don't kill myself in the gym before a race weekend. You don't want to be sore. And um, when you get home, that's when the work starts.
No, yeah, 100% right. So let me ask you this, Gus. Do you have any like superstitions to prepare yourself for a race? Meaning that do you have to put your left boot on before your right boot, or do you listen to like certain music, or what's your routine
Um,
to prepare
well,
for battle?
the craziest thing is that I used to be superstitious, like, which a lot of people are like, they're either superstitious or not, and they're like, well, once you're superstitious, how are you not? Well, um, I was real superstitious before I had like my biggest injury. And then I took that injury, it sucked, right? I was out for a while, but I took that injury and I was like, well, I did all my superstitions before that one and I got hurt. So I guess they don't work anymore. And since then, dude, I have not done any any superstitions. And I don't think superstitions are a bad thing, but I think they are annoying sometimes. So I threw all that stuff out the window about 4 years ago.
I love it. I love it. So there's no like certain routine you follow to get dressed or anything. You just wing it and
Nope. I mean,
yeah,
I put my left glove on first, but I only do that because once the glove is on, it's harder to get the other one on.
yeah,
So I'll do the left one first because I don't know why, it's just easier. But
yeah. I'm the same
um,
way.
yeah, no, I just put the suit on, I put the boots on, and I'm ready to go. That's it.
Suited and booted, prepare for battle. I love it, man. I love it. Joe Wash says, Gus, what do you like to do away from motorcycles and racing?
Um, well, over the past about year, I've been big into the gym a little bit and working on my body. Um, that takes about an hour and a half, 2 hours of my day. And then obviously I do, like I was saying, the vinyl stuff on the side. So that's about, I don't want to say I work a full work day. My dad would like me to, but got to make time for everything and everybody else. And I got a girlfriend here at home. Spend a lot of time with her, spend time with the family. Um, Now that it's summer, a lot of stuff outside. Um, yeah, but like when I'm away from motorcycles, I'm still right there with motorcycles. Like, for instance, my work, like I was saying, I is kind of based around motorcycles and everybody's always asking me about motorcycles. My dad's always talking about motorcycles, My mom's always talking about getting the RV ready for motorcycles. Like my sister, she's obviously big into it because she does the Umbrella Girl stuff, and so she's talking about motorcycles and it's a lifestyle. You can't get away from it. It's like even my whole wardrobe. Like I'm wearing like a SC Project. Oh, the camera's backwards. I'm wearing an SC Project shirt right now. Sponsor of mine. That's my whole
Yeah,
wardrobe.
I love it.
I wore the other day I was wearing, well, it wasn't the other day, it was a couple months ago actually. It's cold outside and Aprilia gave me this like puffer jacket. And I went into Wawa, which I don't think you guys have Wawas, right? You have like one in
In
Florida?
Richmond, in Richmond, we have Wawas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So walked into Wawa and this guy came up to me and was like, yeah, like that jacket is so cool. Like, where did you get that? And I'm like, and then, motorcycles right there. So it's like, it's constant.
Dude, listen, Gus, if you used to see my wardrobe, you'd be like, bro, you got a problem. Like everything that I own is that I'm the same way. When I leave the house, it's motorcycle. My wife's like, can you please wear something besides your motorcycle race shirt? So I'm like, okay. So I go in my closet and I grab a polo. Guess what's on the polo? Motorcycle shit, right? I'm like, here you go, babe. She's like, I can't take you nowhere. I'm like, no, absolutely not. You can't. I mean, look at my hats, dude. I got everything. It's just everything
Dude,
I own, everything I talk about. It's just if it's not motorcycle related, I don't watch.
Yeah, I mean, like I got this right here. This is like my race number right there.
Oh, I love it.
That's the number that's on the bike. So I got, I was wearing this one day and some guy was like, is that your birthday or something? The year of your birthday? And I'm like, no, it's my race number.
I just got this. Hang on, let me stop it. The Nikki Hayden. It's a Nikki Hayden.
Oh, that's awesome.
Gas cap pendant. Yep, it says the Kentucky Kid on it. So
nice.
yeah, even my jewelry is nothing but motorcycles, man. I can't. If I want a day without talking or just thinking about motorcycles, I don't know what I would do. I wouldn't be happy. I know that. And then it is, man. It's the best lifestyle. And then Nathan Granoff, he says, Gus, don't forget about the orange sunglasses.
You're right. Yeah, that was another superstition actually. Nathan's son Owen, who I was just telling you about, he's one of my best friends. We would wear these sunglasses. Maybe I'll try and find a picture of them, but these sunglasses, I swear, brought me race wins, and maybe I need to break them out of Texas because we need something.
Break them out, man.
Right I would be like, Owen, wear the glasses. I'd put them on. We'd go out and win a race. If he wasn't at the track with me, I would have him send me a picture of him wearing the glasses at home on like Snapchat or something.
That's awesome. And then Artie's has another question. He says, what about your grip covers?
Well, Artie, somebody lost the grip covers at Brainerd, so we had none. I rode out. Oh wait, that was at Road America. We lost them. I rode out onto pit lane and I was like, man, my grips feel really fat right now. Like, I don't know what's going on. I looked down, the grip covers were still on the bike. So I had to like rip them off and I just chucked them down pit lane and they're never to be found again. That was it.
There they are. They're in pit lane still somewhere.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome. And then of course we got your dad, Kevin. What is up, Kevin? He says, just tuning in. I was loading the rig for the weekend.
Nah, that's I texted you before this. I told you I was loading the rig.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, that's a fact. He did. I got the text message. Yeah,
show him the text because
I will. Hold on.
We just caught him in a lie.
Hold up. I'm gonna pull it up.
Pull it up while I find these glasses.
Sounds good. I'm just loading the race trailer now.
Yep. See that?
See that? Gus Rodio right there.
We just caught Kev Dog in a lie.
Kevin says lies. Oh, love it.
Here's the glasses. I found them.
Yes. Dude, yes, you need to definitely break those back out.
Oh, yeah. I got to find them, though. Owen's, who knows where they went? I got to ask Owen.
Kevin says pick or it never happened.
There it is. There's the pick.
Right? You text messages don't count.
Kev, why don't you bring me an extension cord and a MacBook charger while you're at it?
Please.
Thank you.
Yep, absolutely. That's awesome, man.
Get Kev on the podcast.
Yeah, dude. Hey, I did. I asked your dad to come on, and he said Absolutely. So, dude, so Kevin, I gave you my phone number. I'm still waiting on that text message so we can line it up for sure.
He doesn't even text me back. So welcome to the club.
And Artie too, man. I've been trying to get Artie on here too.
Yeah, if you had Artie on here, you'd probably pass out from laughing so hard. I mean, we're always laughing at the track when Artie's there. Like Artie wasn't at Brainerd, and it was like I swear we didn't laugh all weekend.
You're like, this is boring.
Yeah, it's terrible.
This is boring. Yeah, I will. I'll get Artie on and your dad too as well. We'll have a really good time, as I always say. Artie says Kevin probably thought of a different, more practical way of loading it and had to redo it. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, right. Making more
awesome.
work for himself.
Dude, listen, my dad's the same way. Like I grew up in the military, so my dad, he was a fighter pilot. He did what Tom Cruise did in Top Gun, right? Aircraft carrier and all that stuff. And he'd tell me to go do something, and I go do it, and he'd come right back behind me and like redo it. And I'm like, well, why'd you ask me to do it for to begin with, Dad?
Yeah. Oh no, the worst. Yeah, sometimes it has to be done when loading the trailer. We'll get it all loaded, and Kev's like, "Oh, with the old RV, we used to have to like distribute the weight properly in the trailer for the tongue weight to be lighter or something. We'd load it all up and be like, nah, gotta switch it up."
Yep, gotta unload it and redo it again.
Oh yeah.
Kevin says OCD on fleek.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
I love it, man. Listen, dude, we're an hour into this. I don't want to keep you because I know you're busy and you got a lot of stuff to do. But I want to get into my favorite part of the podcast. And again, I would love to have you back on for a part 2 because there's still so much more we got to talk about. So I'm just going to get right into it, dude. Tell us something we don't know about you at all, Gus.
Something that you don't know about me? Oh man. I feel like I kind of put everything out there, but what do you give me like a topic? Maybe make
like
it a little easier.
Let's say whatever. You don't like a certain food,
all right, I don't need any vegetables.
You don't eat no vegetables?
Nope, I have never. Well, maybe I ate broccoli a couple times, but I don't like any vegetables. That's one thing that I don't know. I don't know if nobody knows that about me. Obviously, my family, but yeah, I don't eat any and no green stuff for me.
Okay, all right. What's your worst habit?
My worst habit?
So, for example, me, I'm so busy, right? Podcast, full-time job, I work a full-time job. I'm a dad, I'm a husband, all this stuff, right? But when I do actually have some time off, I procrastinate like a motherfucker. I ain't even gonna lie, right?
Oh yeah, I guess procrastination. Yeah, that's big for me too. I mean, like I had to unwrap my van. I had a bunch of old sponsors on there, so I thought it was time to unwrap it and do something different. And my dad was kind of bugging me about it. I think it took me like a month and a half to over the winter because I would like wait for like the sunniest day when it was coming off easy and like well that was my excuse, right? But took me about a month to unwrap a van. Yeah, that's probably procrastination.
Yeah, me too. And Kevin said, I didn't know that. He's referring to you not eating vegetables. That's hilarious.
What, my dad?
Yeah, he said, I didn't know that.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. So let me ask you this, Gus. You can invite 3 people to any track day, right? Your track day. It could be anybody in the world, from MotoGP to movie stars to whoever. What 3 people are you going to invite to your track day?
Well, anybody?
Anybody.
All right. I would invite Marquez, and I would invite. Wow. I don't know. Maybe like a Moto America Superbike guy, like maybe like Heron or something. Obviously, I would at a Superbike. Obviously, I would. You would think I'd pick Posh, but I've done so many laps with him that at this point, it's like if I could pick anybody. Honestly, I think I would pick Heron just so I could go faster than him on a supermoto, and then I'd call it a day.
Well, that's only 2. We got
PJ Jacobson.
PJ, yeah.
PJ Jacobson, because I like to make him nervous on the track. He's another one.
I love it. So let me ask you this: if you had your own private island, what's the one racetrack you'd have on your island?
I mean, Road America is my favorite track, but my opinions changed on that a little bit after last time we were there. It would be between Daytona or Laguna. And I'd probably do Laguna. I'd put Laguna
Nice.
on them probably because it's kind of gives that vibe a little bit anyway. It's California.
Yeah, it
It's
does.
nice.
I had one of my friends I had on the podcast said I'd have the whole Island Man TT on my island, and I was like, bro, that was a brilliant answer. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool. That's not a good. That's not. I don't know. That's a different. That's a different feel though.
Do you watch the Island Man TT?
No, I'll just watch like highlights and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean that's insane. I couldn't imagine like I don't ride on the street or anything like that like in general, but I saw this video of this one crash though that this dude ran off, hit I don't know what he hit, but he just got launched and then he landed on like a vehicle on a car.
Yeah.
Did you see that? The blue
Yep.
car?
Yep.
And I was like, dude, I think he got up.
He did.
Yeah.
He didn't break anything. He was just sorely
No.
bruised, which is crazy,
And the
right?
car looked like it was destroyed.
Yeah. Facts.
So I was like, well, that's not for me right there.
Yeah, I'm not doing that at all, right? Yeah. Good
No,
stuff.
I
So
wouldn't do that.
I listen to a lot of audio books. Are you a book reader or do you listen to any audio books?
No, I'll listen to podcasts, but I'm not really big into books, honestly. I haven't probably read a book since I was in school. I mean, I might have what is that one book that my buddy Tony Pags gave it to me. That's the last book that I actually like read, and it was called like it was called like A Twist of the Wrist or something like
Oh
that.
yeah, Twist by Keith
right.
Code. Yep.
It's not like a novel, but
No,
yeah, it's probably the last book, honestly.
It's writing techniques. It's all
Yeah.
about writing techniques and stuff. So, what podcast do you listen to?
I listen to Pipe Dreams, which I want to be on there, but I don't know. They're giving me mixed signals about that. So, Pipe Dreams. I listen to Moto America sometimes. With
Brothers in Christ.
Off Track, yeah, with Bice.
Yeah.
Bice is my guy. And that's really the only podcast I think I listen to. I mean, maybe I'm forgetting one. Let me see. But I know like I used to listen to like the true crime podcast whenever like my sister was listening to it, but
dude, my wife stays on that true crime podcast, dude. She's listening to all that.
Really?
Oh, dude, yes, dude. True crime and all that. Like she'll be in there. Like I'll jump because everybody nowadays got the Connect, right? So I'll jump in my car if my wife drove my car.
Oh yeah.
Connect to it. I get it and I'll turn it on. All of a sudden, it's super fucking loud. And it's like, and he stabbed her 15 times. I was like, whoa. What are you listening
like,
to?
Are you trying to tell me something?
Right, yeah. You trying to tell me something? Yeah, right.
Yeah, and then Corey Texter's podcast. I'll listen to that when somebody funny is on there. But yeah, no, like I'll probably go back and listen to this and see what it's all about. But
yeah, dude, I appreciate it, man. I was gonna ask you, I mean, you never listened to any Pin to the Gas podcast, man?
Dude, honestly, I think I might have listened to one before. I can't remember who was on. I know you just had, was it somebody in Avery? No, somebody, was Avery Dreher on here?
Yeah, I've had Avery on here.
But was he with somebody?
Yeah, I had. Dude, I've had Avery and Jillian Carrera on at the same time.
Yeah, I think I listened to that.
Yeah, them two for sure.
But,
it's
yeah, I like funny stuff. Like I like when there's somebody funny on like a podcast or something. Like that's why Pipe Dreams is pretty good with that a little bit with the funny stuff. But like I don't know. Like I know Brandon's was funny, PJ's was funny, but
yeah,
we'll see.
I listen to Corey and I listen to their podcast too. It's good stuff, man. Good stuff. So music, what kind of music are you into, Gus?
Music, I'm all over the place. I'm either listening to a bunch of different random stuff or like honestly, right now I've been on a big Pearl Jam thing recently, probably the past like month or so.
Pearl Jam's I love Pearl Jam.
Yeah, but I'll switch it up. I mean, like I was just talking about this with my friends last weekend at the track. Cause like they got in my car. We went to AFT in Bridgeport, and they got in my car and they were like, "Wow, Pearl Jam! Like you were just listening to Morgan Wallen like last month." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's how it goes usually. Like I'll I'll listen to a bunch of different stuff of all the time, but yeah, I'm not really. If I like a song, I like it and I'll listen to it, and that's really it."
Yeah, I'm the same. I was just listening to there's actually a country mix that my mate Davey Todd uh called Fifth Gear. Davey Todd, he's a BSB Island
Yeah, I
Man
met
PT.
him at BSB.
Yeah, he's a absolute proper guy. Real quick, the other podcast I do listen to is my mate Dave Neal. He has a podcast called Off Track Podcast, not
Oh,
known in
really?
America. Yeah, out there, and he does all the BSB and
I
Island
was
Man
gonna
guys.
say,
Yeah,
yeah, I think I might have came across that one time when I was scrolling through. I remember, seeing maybe two different off track
yeah.
podcasts, but
Yeah, that one's a good one. And then another one that I listen to is Moto PG. They're my mates out in Australia. And they're absolutely hilarious. So I recommend
really,
you
yeah, the
yeah.
Aussies,
Dude, yeah, tune into
they're
one of
funny
those.
guys. Yeah,
Dude, Boris, Fredo, and Tugs. I had all three of them actually on my podcast, and they're just they talk shit, and it's absolutely fucking
I love
hilarious.
that.
Oh my god, dude! Like they write poems about riders and shit. It's absolutely hilarious.
Really,
Yes, Gus,
that's
you got to
funny.
check it out. It's fucking
I will.
hilarious. Favorite comedian, Gus?
Favorite comedian? Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle. The
Yeah,
Chappelle Show. Love it,
yeah,
man.
yeah. That's
Love
hilarious.
it. It is. It
That's
is.
like I don't know. That's like borderline. Like you don't get in trouble for saying anything, but I don't know. His stuff sometimes is a little like crazy, but it's hilarious. So.
It is absolutely. And then Chris says, what would you do if you weren't a motorcycle racer?
Mm. I would I would like to be in crime somewhere, like maybe like an interrogator, or like, be on the crime scenes, or a lawyer. One of
Nice.
the two. Yeah, my parents always said I should be a lawyer since I was little, because I don't know, I feel like I used to get my way a lot and like kind of put everything on the line to get my way.
I love it.
That's what I was all about.
Do you have any tattoos?
I don't know. I'm 19, and I've been obviously able to get a tattoo. Like I could just go and get one on my own, for about a year and a half now. But I honestly don't have any ideas, so I'm not gonna put something permanent on me until there's a reason or something good. We've been talking about me getting a tattoo, like me and my family and everything, and I definitely have some ideas, but I'm not sure yet. I'll probably get one within the next year, I think.
Nice, man. Nice.
It's funny that you asked that, because I swear to God, I was scrolling through tattoo ideas today in
Was
my
you?
room.
Yeah, I got
Yeah,
obviously you see my Ducati one, and then I got a
yeah.
Marco Simicelli one.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah,
Um,
see, like that means something. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like obviously
yeah,
the Simoncelli and the Ducati, really, but
yeah. And then I got a
I don't
big
know if.
Valentino Rossi on my back, his sun symbol.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got it on my back between my shoulder blades. It's like this big.
Yeah.
So
See, I would do a tattoo if it meant something like that.
yeah, for sure, 100%. And then Nathan says, "Because you argue all the time," with a bunch of laughing emojis. That's hilarious.
Because wait, I'm confused.
He said, Because you argue all the time, being talking about you being a lawyer and you always get your way."
Oh, that was
Yeah,
on the
there you
lawyer
go.
topic.
Yeah, that was
Oh
on the
yeah,
lawyer
Nate
topic.
knows. Yeah, I'm all about that.
That's awesome. I love it.
I'm all about it.
Let me ask you this: Are you a Star Wars or Star Trek guy?
Neither. I'm
Okay,
neither. Yeah,
DC
never.
or Marvel?
I'll go with Marvel, just because I'm not really big into that either, but
Okay,
HJC will put me in those helmets sometimes, so
I
big
like it,
on it.
man. I like it. Hey, so what are you a PlayStation or Xbox guy?
Xbox.
What's in the
Yeah,
console right
I've
now?
always been Xbox. My Xbox hasn't been turned on in probably like a year. But me and all my friends, we would play. We were big on like Ride 3 and 4 at the time, when they came out. And oh my God, I have so many like game clips of us just doing the craziest like stuff in the game, like crashes and cleaning each other out and all that stuff. It was fun because like, when you're racing, you meet a lot of people that they're all over the place, and it's like, oh, like they're not like your local like friends that you could just hang out with. So there was a time period when it was probably for about 3 years straight when like me and all my friends that I raced with, we would all get on Xbox, and half the time we'd get in trouble, but half the time, it was pretty calm, and we all got to kind of like talk to each other and feel like we were all together a little bit, and it involves motorcycles, like you said.
I love it. Dude, I've been playing Ride 5. It's out. Of course, I played Ride
Oh
3
yeah,
and
yeah, I
Ride 4.
saw
Ride
that.
5 is awesome. It's a really good game. Celebrity crush, Gus. Who's your celebrity crush?
My celebrity crush is Sydney Sweeney.
Love it, man.
Do you know who that is or no?
I do.
Yeah, Sydney Sweeney.
That's good stuff. And then the Infantry 98 says, I had an opportunity to work alongside interrogators during our OEF 09-010. Why did I say 010? 09-10 combat deployment as a U.S. Army soldier. I pulled security on a terrorist who was responsible for killing an American soldier. Wow. I'm sure that was intense. Yeah, that
Yeah, I
would
got
be.
yeah, I'm always asking our one mechanic on the road beside Mike Coppolis will tell me like the craziest stories. And I'm into hearing about that stuff. I can't imagine being there, but I'd love to hear about it. And the crime stuff is cool because I don't know, there's like they always say what is the saying about a picture? Like a picture is 1,000 words or
1,000
something like
words.
that.
Yep.
Yeah. And
1,000.
just to be there is like crazy. Like what went down here, you know what I mean? Like what now we got to figure out like what's going on, and that's cool to me.
Yeah, it is absolutely. It's cool to me too. And I love watching stuff like that on Netflix, right? So what are you currently binge watching on Netflix or
You want to know what I'm binge watching right now? Me and my girlfriend are watching Love Island.
Love Island?
Love
I,
Island. And
I'm gonna have to
before
check
that, yeah, new season. Before that or during that, it sounds stupid, but Young Sheldon.
Young Sheldon. I heard that was actually
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah, because it leads into the Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, which was an
Um
awesome show.
Yeah, but honestly, like other than that, like that's I'll just just put that stuff on like before bed. But I'm not really big on like I don't know. I feel like my dad's watching this, and I don't really want to say this, but oh no, he's backing up the RV right now, so I'm good. But I feel like
He
I don't have that much time to like sit down and watch stuff. You know, say that around him though, he'll be like, "Oh, you got all the time in the
the
world. Like
world. Yeah.
you do nothing all day." Yeah, no, I don't know.
Uh,
I don't find myself like sitting down anywhere like unless it's like after 8 o'clock at night or something like that.
yeah, I have a hard time sitting down in front of the TV unless it's motorcycle racing, right? Like as soon as I got up this morning, what I put on
Yeah,
MotoGP free practice 1 and practice 2. Yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
I forgot that the Ridge was in a different time zone, so I like woke up this morning. I was like, no way, they're not on track yet. Like, I wish I was there. Don't have to start until friggin' noon. But then
Yeah,
I
I
was
know,
like,
right?
wait a minute, it's like 9. So
Yeah, and then that's something else I was watching too. Actually, right before we jumped on was, of course, the Moto America coverage of the Ridge for sure, 100%.
yeah,
Um, Kevin says heading to NJMP. See you there with a bunch of laughing emojis, and he says you do have time.
yep.
With bitch is what he
He's a
said. Yeah,
joke.
yeah. Kevin's awesome, dude. It's hilarious. Where do you see yourself in 5 years, Gus?
5 years. Whew, I don't know. 5 years, either Moto America Superbike or yeah, I think Moto America Superbike, honestly. I would probably like if I ever wanted to race, overseas and stuff like that, I would probably take the kind of like the Garrett Gerloff route a little bit, like
Yeah.
the Moto America Superbike, World Superbike kind of thing. But yeah, I would say Moto America Superbike. Obviously, at that point, you got to kind of move on from rodeo racing if you want to race in Superbike a little bit, just for for budget reasons, unless Kev hits the lottery. But yeah, so we'll see. Oh, he actually did just leave. Wow, how about that? I thought he was waiting for me, but he's gone.
So that
Like,
means you're gonna have to drive yourself, right?
yeah, I was planning on it, but he was like, I'm gonna wait for you, and now he's gone. So
He
that's
was
that.
not playing, was he?
He was not playing.
No,
He didn't bring me a charger either.
I know. I see that. So listen, this has been an absolute honor to have you on, Gus. It's been a long time coming. I can't wait for part 2. Good luck this weekend. Tell everybody
Thank you.
where they can follow you on social media, how they can get in touch with you for your graphics and all that good stuff.
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram. It's gus.rodeo. And if you're trying to get work done with the graphic side of things, trucks, bikes, banners, signs, billboards, anything, let me know. Send me a DM, and you can hit me right from my main page right there. That's kind of what everything links up to.
I love it. I love it, man. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I will shoot you
Thanks
a
for
text.
having me.
We'll set up one, let's say at the end of the year.
Yeah, let's set it up. Let's get Artie,
We'll
Kev.
get, yeah, we'll
Yeah,
do it.
we'll get
Let's
them
get the
going.
whole rodeo team on. Yeah, we can do that for sure.
All right,
It'd be
let's
total
go.
chaos. It'll be fun. But yes,
It'll
listen,
be
I'm gonna let you get
insane.
off here. It will be absolute proper mega time, as I always say. Gus, absolute honor. Thank you so much. Before I end this real quick, big shout out to Bison. You guys already know, go to bisontrack.com. Big shout out to SFL Mini GP, which is one of the best training programs, as well as the one in New Jersey. So if you guys are up and down the East Coast, please go visit both of them. Big shout out to RD Racing and my buddy Jake Marsh out there in the UK. Chef Eats. I know you heard about Chef Eats, Gus, right?
I have heard about Chef Eats. If he's watching this, send me a DM or something. I want to get in on that.
Bro,
I
dude,
like it.
listen,
I like what I see.
I'll just text you his number when we get off here and you
Sounds
just
good.
call
Let's
him,
go.
dude. Yeah, Jeff, he's absolutely amazing. But yes, thank you guys so much for watching. If you had not had the opportunity, please go like and subscribe. This episode will be out everywhere tomorrow. And yeah, Gus Rodio, the absolute legend. I appreciate it. And yeah, I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you, bro. All right. All right, Gus. What'd you think, man?
That was good.